Hey, it's Mike from the Life In Attleboro Podcast. Our first ever sponsor, Confidence Fitness, has an unbelievable offer for you. 3 free workouts with absolutely nothing to lose. You'll also get an in-body scan to measure your current body composition, and you'll get their brand new meal prep checklist. All of those things completely free. You cannot beat it. All you have to do is go to lifeinattleboro.com, and you'll see the link right there on our homepage. I'll also include the link in the show notes of this episode. Confidence Fitness is located at 453 South Main Street. Confidence Fitness. Strength for life, strength for sports. And now, on to the show. You are listening to the Life in Attleboro Podcast, where we interview the city's most interesting people who are making a positive difference in our community. Hey everyone, I'm the host of the Life in Attleboro Podcast, Mike Sullivan. Restaurant Week is returning to Attleboro this year, and it runs from February 28th through March 8th. You can score some really good deals at some of the best dining establishments in the city. Enjoy this short episode, number 37, of the Life in Attleboro podcast. Okay, joining me now is Kaylin Furtado. She is the city's community engagement manager, and she plays a very important role when it comes to connecting the residents of Attleboro to all of the great activities, events, and services that Attleboro has to offer. So, Kaylin, thank you so much for being a guest on the Life in Attleboro podcast.
Thank you. I remember meeting you when you were first starting this podcast, and it's so great to see the followers that you've gained and just the connections that have been made from your podcast and listeners and just growing our community. It's been awesome.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to meet you last summer, and thank you for the support, and thank you for all that you do for the city. So we're going to get into that. There are a bunch of cool events that you help coordinate, spread the word about. There's a very cool one coming up February 28th through March 8th. It is Attleboro's Restaurant Week. So can you tell us first how many years we're coming up on? What year will this be for Restaurant Week?
Yeah, so Restaurant Week actually was an initiative that was first organized by Jay DeLisio, our president of our city council. He organized it back in the early 2010s, and that was going for a little bit. So it fell off a little bit there, and then I picked it up when I started my position. My supervisor, the economic development director, wanted to see this event getting organized again. So this is the 3rd year of myself organizing it, which is really exciting. It's growing momentum. I'm seeing people get excited on Facebook over it as well, and the restaurants look forward to it as well.
That's awesome. So can you please give us a little taste, if you will, of what Restaurant Week is all about?
I caught that there. Thank you.
Thank you.
So it's this great program. So the city of Attleboro organizes it for free. So we collect and organize our restaurants and basically say for this week, we're running from a Saturday to another Saturday. So it gives people a little bit longer of a time to try the restaurant menus, to offer selected menus. So they can choose an entree, they can choose an appetizer, they can choose drinks if they'd like to at their own recommended cost. So other restaurant weeks you'll see in other communities, it's a fixed menu cost each establishment you go to. Here in Attleboro, there's many different styles of restaurants. So you can choose your own price point that you'd like, and the restaurants choose their own menus. So it's like a prefix menu or a happy hour type of menu where there's selected items for a certain cost. So each establishment offers something unique and fun at a different cost as well. So if you'd like to splurge a little bit or you want to save some pennies, there's some options for everybody.
That's awesome. And how many restaurants are participating in this year's event?
This year, we have 15, which is our record number so far, which is awesome. So it's growing. And then I'm starting to feel the heat. I'm like, I don't think I'll be able to go all 15 restaurants in the 8 days that it's planned.
I'm going to put you on the spot here. Can you run through that list and just run down all of them that will be available?
You got it. So we've got Burgundian, we've got Gigi's, which used to be Dawn and Gigi's, but they've rebranded to Gigi's. Okay. We've got Chubb's Blue Pig Barbecue, we've got the Blackington Inn, we've got Weather Lanes, Bliss Brothers Dairy, El Azteca, Pinku, Boro Bagels, Cafe Locale, Hong Kong Treasures, Blue Moon Thai, Sakura Hibachi, Cozy Kitchen, and Aleko Deli.
Okay, I am starving, and I've been to almost all of those restaurants, so I'll have to try the ones that I haven't been to, but I'm curious, Kaylin, which one are you going to be going to first? If you and also this, if you and your husband are going out to breakfast, lunch, and dinner, what kind of food do you prefer?
So breakfast is always an eggs Florentine. Okay. I love the spinach and the hollandaise sauce. It's amazing. Yes. Lunch, I'm a sandwich gal, so I think Aleko would have to be going for lunch. Okay. And then dinner, I could go for anything. Sushi, Chinese, Mexican. It really depends on the mood or what I've been having all week. If I've had Mexican one day, the next day has to be a different style of food. I like unique things at different time periods. But one of my favorite menus, and I'm going to give them a shout out, is the Blackington Inn. Yes. They have eggs rollatini, amazing appetizer, and then creme brulee for dessert, which is always my favorite. When I see creme brulee on a menu, I have to order it. So
good choice.
They're one of my favorites.
Blackington Inn, great spot. Mm-hmm. Kim, the owner, was also a guest on the podcast and helped set up the fire chief as well. So great people. Actually, my wife and I went to Mac and Waltz, which is their other restaurant, last week over in Norton. That was also delicious.
The burgers are amazing there. I wish they were in Attleboro. Too bad they're in Norton.
My wife and I actually had 2 different kinds of burgers, and they were delicious. Okay. Will all of the restaurants be offering special deals, and how can our listeners take advantage of those deals?
Yeah, so they're all offering a pretty large menu for a specific cost. I would say it's a deal to dine out. Weather Lane specifically, they've got a 3-course menu for only $20. Wow. So it's just something that you really can't get elsewhere. Bliss Brothers, they always have a great deal on the menu, but they're also doing the same thing, a 3-course menu for about $21, which is unheard of these days. Really so you can really find something, or you can splurge a little bit too. Cafe Locale will have some drinks on their menu, which is fun for a $30 price with your other meal options.
That's awesome. So besides the obvious, Kaylin, which is dining out at all of the great restaurants during Restaurant Week, how can the people of Attleboro do our part to support Restaurant Week?
I think it's just telling your friends about these restaurants too, maybe buying some gift certificates and giving those as gifts. One, it brings people who might not live in Attleboro into our community and, trying our local businesses and seeing that Attleboro has something great to offer and hoping that maybe they come and live in the area as well, or they visit more often and spend some dollars here.
Absolutely. It's a great place to live, great place to eat. Kaylin, is there anything else that you'd like the people to know about this year's event?
Yeah, Restaurant Week, we've got a full list of menus, so please pay attention to the Life in Attleboro post, which will include the link for that, and that will also get advertised on the city social media accounts and on our website. Look through all of them, browse them, try to get it to as many as you can, because these menus obviously only last for a week, so you've got to make the most of your time.
Excellent. A nice, short, and sweet interview here on this podcast episode. Kaylin, I'd like to thank you personally for everything that you do for our city about helping to organize and spread the word about the great events, activities, and services here in Attleboro. Kaylin Furtado, Attleboro's Community Engagement Manager, thank you so much for being a guest on the Life in Attleboro podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much for spreading positivity. It's much needed. Thank you.
Thank you. Again, to see a detailed list of the menus and deals you can enjoy during Restaurant Week, you can find them in the show notes of this episode. Hey, I want to tell you about our new sponsor, Hoban Accounting Services. If you're a small business owner, you know how much of a hassle it can be to keep track of every penny earned and every penny spent. But thankfully, Hoban Accounting Services is on a mission to heal your headaches and fizzle your frustration when it comes to crunching those pesky numbers. Hoban Accounting Services has helped local businesses for more than 7 years. That's when Nicole Hoban, a proud mother of twin girls, launched her business. She's a QuickBooks Pro Advisor with tons of awards to her name. If you mention the Life in Attleboro podcast, you'll get 10% off for your first 6 months. If you'd like to support a small business owner in our city, just tap the link in the show notes of this episode and Nicole will be in touch. Hoban Accounting Services. A great bookkeeper should be an asset, not an expense. Have you signed up for the Life in Attleboro email list? More than 1,100 people have. If not, you're missing out on exclusive benefits, including early access to every new podcast episode, special savings at Attleboro restaurants and businesses, behind-the-scenes videos and insight, and you'll stay in the know about cool events in our great city. Just go to lifeinattleboro.com and you'll see the sign-up display right there on the homepage. You'll also see the sign-up button at the top of our Life in Attleboro Facebook page. And if you know someone who would make a great guest on our podcast, please shoot us an email at lifeinattleboro@gmail.com. Life in Attleboro is a great thing. Support our community, promote positivity, and make a stranger smile. Have a great day, and we'll see you in the next episode of the Life in Attleboro podcast.